All right, we're proud to have with us this morning Republican Senator from Wyoming, John Barrasso, here in New York. Welcome to the Big Apple, Senator.
Thanks for having me.
What do you make of this? Iraq blows up, the president goes out golfing, he's raising money, and he makes a speech like that.
Yeah, it's astonishing. A couple things in terms of what's happening with Iraq. The president's response is much too late. We saw this coming. We knew that we should have left some troops on the ground. We have still left troops on the ground after World War II. We have troops in Japan, South Korea, in Europe. So I thought that was a mistake. Even the generals advised against just pulling everything out, and the president really needs to rethink his decision about Afghanistan right now.
But do you think America, the people, the voters, do you think America wants further involvement in Iraq?
Not at this point. I don't think there should be new boots on the ground. I thought a peacekeeping force of 10,000 with a structure of force agreement with Maliki would have been the way to go. But back then, the president said, "Hey, things are fine here. We have, we've left things safe and secure and doing well," and that just wasn't the case.
But they have moved in Marines into Baghdad to allow embassy personnel to leave, temporarily relocate personnel. Marines, boots on the ground, are there doing just that.
Yeah, I think the president is not being well advised by his security team. I think he's not making enough contingency plans that are necessary. You know, we ought to be planning for all options, and the president, I think, has not either tried to have wishful thinking. And what was it last week? He said the world is less violent than it has ever been before. When you see video of 1,700 Iraqis being assassinated.
Isn't the president aware of what they call the optics of being seen on a golf course, making a speech like the one we just heard a clip from, raising money on a weekend vacation for Father's Day? What does the world think when they see that happening?
Well, the world also sees a president withdrawing, and I think that's an invitation to Vladimir Putin to move in Ukraine and continue further. It's an invitation for North Korea to do additional things, and now it seems like an additional invitation to Iran to move further into Iraq.
I just want to sum up this first part of our interview. I think America and its policy and its leadership is in disarray at this point. I don't think you disagree with me, will you?
No. When you leave a vacuum, that provides opportunities for others to move in, and the president has not only left a vacuum, he's announced his vacuum and his intention to continue to withdraw.
Senator, hold on for a second. I want to break away and cover the early Monday morning market action. Here we go. What have we got this morning? Well, we don't have much stock price movement. I'm going to say that stocks are pretty much flat across the board. I get the feeling stocks want to go up, but they're being held in check with what's happening in Iraq. Up 9 points as we speak. The S&P 500 up a mere 2 points, still off the highs of last week, 1950. We're at 1938. Oil, that's where the action has been. As of now, relatively quiet as we're waiting for developments in Iraq. We have the price of oil close to $107 a barrel. Gold moving higher again, not much, just creeping up there, 90 cents, that's it. But we're at $12.75 on gold. As for the 10-year Treasury, that's our interest rate barometer. The yield is 2.59%. Interesting, drop below 2.6. The medical device maker, Medtronic, leaving America, heading for lower tax rates elsewhere. It is buying Covidien, which is, quote, domiciled in Ireland. The merged company will head over there for those tax breaks. Nicole, give me the two stock prices, please.
All right, U.S. firm moving out. This is obviously beneficial for the tax purposes. For Medtronic, you have Medtronic buying Covidien. It's $42.9 billion deal. They're rebasing in Ireland, so they'll do exactly that. Medtronic is huge. It is the world's largest standalone medical device maker. It has a market value of over $60 billion. And so now with medical technology to expand, they're going here, taking over Covidien. And Covidien is at a new high. It's up almost 22%.
And the story really is here. The merged company will be domiciled for tax purposes in Ireland. That's an astonishing development. Thanks, Nicole. Senator, look, they're going over there because they don't like the tax rates over here. And yet universally you hear support for lowering those tax rates so we can get that money to come back to America. But the president won't have it.
Well, you're absolutely right. You know, I'm a physician. I'm certainly familiar with the companies involved here. Corporate tax rates in Ireland, 12.5%. Maximum corporate tax rate in the United States, 35%. We have many companies from the United States that have just a lot of money overseas they can't bring back because they have to pay such a high tax rate to do it. I support repatriation of that money. And, you know, the health care law is making it worse, too, because with the medical device tax, that's an additional incentive to move jobs overseas.
Charles.
Supporting the repatriation, it felt like that was going to be the biggest news out of Washington last week until the cancer vote. What would the Republicans be willing to give up in terms of an infrastructure fund to make this happen?
Well, you know, we need tax reform in this.
Well, we know
country.
that, but I don't think we're going to get a grand scheme after all of these years. But if they said, okay, let's agree, there's $2 trillion offshore, a gigantic honeypot. Maybe we can get $300 billion back. For the capitalists, some of it goes to buybacks and dividends, but parts of that money will go to pure job creation. But the government's going to want this administration is going to want their piece. How much of a piece do you think the Republicans are willing to say, okay, you guys take this much?
You know, we may need actually to wait until after the Republicans take over the Senate, which I'm working so hard to do after the November elections, to really do the kind of tax reform and push that onto the president's desk. But it just makes sense to bring back this money. Right now, if they bring it back, it's at 35%.
Yeah. But would you lower tax rates? Or would you give them a one-off tax holiday? No tax at all if you do it in the next 6 months. Bring the money back. Which would you do?
You can go either way. Either way, there has to be a better incentive than there is right now at a 35% tax rate, bringing the money back.
So why won't the president do this? Why won't he do anything to bring that money back here? Why won't he do this?
He seems to be more interested in vilifying those that make profit. You know, government, take a look at government, and it can either create opportunities or crush opportunities based on taxation as well as mandates, regulations. And right now it does seem that we're hurting.
It's not working politically. I don't know why on earth he doesn't change his mind politically and win some votes that way, but he hasn't. Senator, hold on. There's more to come. Good. Sports first, Charles. Hold on.
Drum roll.
I'm going to say it was a big weekend for sports. I know it was. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Heat 104-87 last night, took their 5th NBA championship. I believe that ended the Heat's 2-year run as league champs. Is that correct? Now, hold on a second. Listen to what star player LeBron James from the Heat said about this.
We went to 4 straight finals in 4 years, and, we're not discrediting what we was able to accomplish in these 4 years. We lost one, we won 2, and we lost another one. Take 50%, in 4 years, in championships any day.
Go.
Listen, LeBron, when he went down to Miami, said they were going to win many championships. They put together an all-star team. They had the swagger. They had the bravado. Yeah, they went to 4, and they lost a couple. They probably need to talk to him a couple days from now. That was a person who was obviously crushed, defeated, and hurt at the time. This is well below what they thought they were going to do, what they wanted to do. But I think there's been too much attention on LeBron. We need to give San Antonio more credit because you know what they are? They have a culture of success.
Yes.
And we should mimic that as a country and as a people.
That's
a culture of success.
About that.
No superstars on the team, and they crush the team with all superstars.
Okay. I agree with you. Not that I know what I'm talking about, but I agree with you. Let's go to the U.S. Open. The German player, Martin Keimer, he won 9 under par, 8 strokes ahead. Great finish for a relatively unknown guy. But the game's big stars didn't make it to the leaderboard. Charles, the ratings are going to be awful. But I want you to tell me about Mr. Compton.
Eric Compton playing with his second heart.
Yep.
He's had 2 heart transplants. One as a young kid, one recently. Even before the stents came out, he went out to practice his swing. This is his passion for golf. He was in second. He almost had a shot. Just an amazing story for a lot of people. I don't think even
he could bail out those ratings. I think they're going to take
or the young kid, Ricky Fowler, who I think, he could be the superstar that could bring more young people into the game. I love the way he dresses.
You love the way he dresses?
I love the way he dresses for young kids. That's right, because if you're 19, 20 years old, that's who you identify with. And by the way, the homage that he paid to Payne Stewart on Thursday with the Knickers was classic.
All right. The World Cup. Let's move on, shall we?
Let's move on.
Now, this is the match we're all waiting for. Kicks off tonight. The U.S. team, Team USA, takes on Ghana. Critical game. Ghana knocked America out of contention in both of the past 2 World Cups. If the U.S. loses, they've really got an uphill battle because they take on number 2, Germany, number 4, Portugal, in the next 2 games. Senator John Barrasso is still here. You weren't expecting this, were you? They don't play soccer in Wyoming, do they?
Not much.
You don't care about this, do you?
Not as much as you do.
Wait a minute. Well, viewers, you don't realize that the good senator here was waiting for an opportunity to debate me about England losing 2-1 to Italy. Go ahead.
Well, it's, my daughter Emma has a shirt that says "Football is life," and it's a soccer ball in the middle of it. So it's.
I want your daughter on that set next time. Senator Barrasso, thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thanks for having me.